on the subject of aliens, what I noticed, I think the first time I watched Falling Skies a while back, is that with the skitters, when they make a certain sound, it's extremely similar to that of the Velociraptor in obviously Steven Spielberg's film. And,
version.
I wanted to know whether that was intentional or if it was just recycling, like Michael Bay does with car scenes and things like that.
Well, I wouldn't say it's recycling at all, but I wouldn't call it conscious either. You know, trying to find the right alien sound is tough, and we've gone. You have no idea how many times I've been sent samples of alien sounds and gone, no, that's just not going to work. And yeah, I think that there is a certain. Now that you've said it, actually, I can see why it would have that feel to it. What we were looking for was that sense of primal, and you'll notice that they have that sound when they're attacking or charging, and we wanted that sense that it was almost a battle cry for them, and I guess, you know, sometimes it's just going to sound like that.
And there's quite a bit, there's quite a bit of these sort of, I suppose, dystopian dramas around, quite a few coming over from America now. Why do you think that is, and what sort of appeal do you think they've got at the moment?
Well,
because ours was awesome in their copy.
Yeah. You know, I think that apocalyptic stories have been around for a long, long time, thousands of years, and I believe that they usually occur when things aren't looking good, and we're hoping for some type of intervention, some type of correction. Certainly the U.S. economy has been, you know, is slowly back on its recovery, but I think during the time that a lot of our apocalyptic, I would argue that our show is not dystopic. I think that we actually, if anything, we are a show with a lot of hope, and our characters are trying desperately to hold on to some sort of structure and semblance of society. But nevertheless, what we are portraying is this sense that things have gotten down to a manageable size. If 90% of the population is destroyed, that puts us to about 500 million, and that
seems quite manageable.
Well, it hasn't been like that since 1645. I did the research, wow. And at a time when I believe, you know, the world was in the middle of its renaissance. So, you know, I think that people, in a weird way, are longing for that time when the rules have gone away.
Here we have warriors in our show. You have the heroic characters that aren't so heroic. So there's that. We have death in our show of our main characters as well. So I think that it shows a realism that people, maybe in a time you're wanting someone to come through, but at the same time it's not so far out there where it's just superheroes.
I will argue that I think we've reached our saturation point, and I think we'll start seeing a different type of show that's going to start appealing.
Really? What sort of show?
I don't know. I think that usually when things start to look better, I think we start to get more realistic dramas start to come into play. And I think that even in some of the choices that have been made, I can only speak to America because that's where I live and work, but I think we're starting to see the pickup of shows where they're more reality-based and grounded. There's a number of shows on right now that'll be on in the fall that really are back to that sort of, you know, existential family drama that we saw possibly maybe 10 years ago.
Oh wow, interesting. Look forward to it.
Did you want a last one?
Just last one for Jessie. I wanted to know, which Karen did you enjoy playing more, the normal Karen or the harnessed Karen?
Well, it's interesting because when we get to season 2 and they're like, all right, so you need to go, you're manipulating them, you're deceiving them, I went back and went, well, we never really actually knew Karen before. We knew what she was like. We knew that she was the love interest, but she gets taken right away. We knew that she's a motor scout and everything. So I loved that aspect. I loved picking up a gun. I loved fighting with the boys. Like, I loved I loved that aspect of things, but as an actress, to be able to sit there, and also with the aliens we're talking about, them creating one, I'm technically an alien in human skin. And some of the notes from, I remember first season where they're like, all right, you're taking Tom on a spaceship. And the main note of that was, all right, so you're not a human, but we don't want you to be all alien. I'm like, what does that mean? I am one. So to be able to, I was given lots of notes, but also at the same time a lot of freedom as an actress to make choices in where you manipulate, where you deceive. Will Wheaton the other day, we were doing a little interview, and he's like, you never blink. So there's certain things that I got to bring as an actress to this alien that's not supposed to be far-fetched and not supposed to be something you've seen before, yet still different. So for me, I would say the darker Karen, because the cycles of who she is are never changing. It's not like all of a sudden you have good Karen, second mass, and then you have bad Karen, aliens. She's constantly changing and going up through the chain of command. So for me, I would say her journey is my favorite.